My name is Helen, and I'm going to tell you about my story with the 6 dingo pups that were in my care. So it all starts out in rural Western Australia where I was cattle mustering, and someone on a motorbike saw a den on the side of a rocky hill, and so he went over to it, and initially he just found one pup. So I took that one with me in the motor car and joined up with the rest of the mustering mob. And then 3 minutes later or so, he comes back and has a huge lump in his shirt, which of course proceeded me to ask when he was due, and then he proceeded to birth 5 puppies from his shirt. One of them even left a little love mark where it had been sucking on his stomach. And considering that they were mustering with me all day long, it was a very long day, they basically just slept. There was one in particular that kept trying to get into the front seat with me, but for the most part, they slept, and some of them found some really awkward positions to sleep in. And so after the mustering was over, we were back at the homestead. Their eyes were cloudy, their ears were closed, and I wasn't quite sure what to do, so I contacted Dingo Den. I had to get very clever because we're out in the middle of nowhere, and I can't just go to the store to buy the necessary items, so Dingo Den helped a lot with that. And figured out why I could feed them and how I could keep them. And then a few days later, we were on our way back to Perth, long journey back to Perth. This is a picture of the 6 of them. And it did not take very long for them to grow up, basically, a very short amount of time, and their ears were up. Their teeth started coming out the very next day after we found them, and full of energy and curiosity. And watching them grow so quickly was so amazing and rewarding. And they were full of curiosity. They followed me everywhere, and they liked to perch on my shoulders to watch the world around them. And one of our favorite times, of course, was nap time. So after they would get fed, they would then pile on top of me and fall asleep. So you can see in these 2 pictures how quickly they grew up versus the top left versus the right image. And of course, I got little paw prints from all of them at the end, but it was a really rewarding experience, and they were just amazing. And I really thank Dingo Den for the help that they gave me during the whole process with the vet appointments and them not feeling well and the inevitable mess that comes with having 6 puppies. They definitely stole my heart, for sure. But I'm glad to know that they're going to have a safe and happy home at Dingo Den.
Every year, we are contacted to help orphan pups just like Waddle, Willow, Jarrah, Bindi, Snow, and Tigger. Pups as young as 2 weeks of age are left defenseless without their parents, struggling to survive. When Helen reached out to us for help, we immediately jumped into action to give these 6 pups anything and everything they needed for a bright future. The first week, they needed emergency vet care for a bacterial infection in their stomachs. At this point, we weren't sure if they would make it, but like most wild-born orphans, they are resilient and they fight to live. Our next big hurdle was for the 4-hour flight from Perth to Sydney. We had to wait for the pups to be strong enough before they could travel. Bundled up in 2 crates of 3, they started their life-changing journey to Dingo Den Animal Rescue.
I remember driving to the airport not really knowing what to expect. I remember looking into the back of the crate, seeing these tiny little balls of fluff looking at us all curled up together. Then they got really curious and started coming up to the cage, getting really excited. We could barely keep them in. All they wanted was to explore the world.
A lot of time, work, and nutritional understanding goes into creating a diet for wild-born orphans that will properly support their health and growth. This litter started on boiled chicken and zucchini to assist with their stomach bacterial infection, and they're finally on a raw dingo diet and eating hollow bones.
We have started socialising the pups with the adults by having supervised interactions within an enclosure. From there, we have begun command training by having the pups watch the adults. The pups love following and playing with the older dingoes.
At least 3 times a day during feeding time, These pups are walked for about 10 to 15 minutes each outside of their enclosure and out in the sanctuary surrounded by other pack members, where we teach them name recognition and collar and lead training. They enjoy bouncing around and absolutely love how much enrichment the surrounding environment provides them.
It is a true honour and privilege to live alongside these incredible animals. Our long-term goal is to have the Australian dingo federally protected so the species can live safe and free the way God intended them to be. Saving the wild-hearted is a journey that starts from within. It's our passion, and we hope it will become yours too.